For our listeners, where have they most likely experienced urban mobility solutions at scale already?
So let's think about 2024. Plunge yourself in the Olympics in Paris. For the first time in history, Olympics was going to be hosted within the heart of a city. How do you orchestrate all of this when you have millions and millions of visitors who just want to go from point A to point B in record time? How do you make this happen?
We worked very closely with the city authority in Paris because the threat level also was high when it comes to cybersecurity, but also traffic optimization. And it's a fascinating problem that we get to solve every day.
Think of this in the 90 countries you're talking about, is in one integrated platform. That is how you make cities more livable, and that is the purpose of this company.
Every day, 40,000 Indians are moving into city permanently. Now think about the complexities of mobility.
The market we play here at Arrive is about a $3 trillion market. It's huge.
One thing you wish city governments understood.
Data, data, data.
You are driving into a city, then you switch to either a rental bike, or you will be riding a nearest metro, or simply robotaxi.
It sounds like science fiction to me.
I know it's reality today. It is reality today. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Amita Goyal, Managing Partner at Zinnov. Welcome to the Zinnov podcast. Joining me today is Jérôme Selva, the Chief Operating Officer at Arrive, and Sandesh Bhat, the Chief Technology Officer at Arrive. If you have ever felt being stuck in traffic, or switching between apps to figure your way out, or try to find a single parking spot between your commute from home to work or elsewhere, you have experienced how fragmented and complex urban mobility is. There is an underlying intelligence layer which makes all of this either work or fail at scale. In this complex urban mobility area is where Arrive operates. They bring their intelligence across 90 countries, 20,000 cities where they operate with their solutions, bringing together the data, the infrastructure, and enterprise decision making. Now, Arrive is playing its bet in India. Thank you so much, Jérôme and Sandesh, for joining us. I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you to have us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you so much. So the first question is for you, Jérôme. I've heard Arrive makes cities livable. Could you please tell our listeners in 30-second version of what Arrive is and what is the problem you're solving?
Yeah. Well, I think this is funny that you asked me to do it in 30 seconds, knowing I have some French roots. So we're pretty good at doing the lengthy version. Think about Victor Hugo, but I'll try in 30 seconds. I probably already failed right there. Think about London in its effortless public transport. Or think about Amsterdam in its very smart parking flow. Or think about New York in a very simple, effortless mobile payment activity through navigating the flow of the city. Think of this in the 90 countries you're talking about. Think of this is in one integrated platform where you bring all those decades, whether it was from Easy Park, Ringo, Flowbird, all those brands that you might recognize, Park Mobile. And now you bring this in the palm of the users or in the hands of the cities and operators to really ease that urban mobility. That is how you make cities more livable, and that is the purpose of this company.
That's really lovely. Sandesh, every city seems to have its own way of doing things. Different parking rules, different parking systems, even different user behaviors. What does Arrive do to make it all work seamlessly on one platform, as Jérôme mentioned, without having things break down?
Arrive is a global mobility platform, as we call it. By definition, it needs to scale globally, but at the same time, adopt locally. So you mentioned about more than 20,000 cities that we have relationship to make cities more livable. So think about example, London has about 32 boroughs. And if you add the city itself, it's 33. New York, you mentioned, has 5 boroughs. Every borough has their own challenges and also policies and enforcement laws, pricing for transport versus for parking, etc. So if you think about the complexities that the urban mobility has, you need to build a platform that really adopts that complexity, but most importantly makes it seamless experience and make it a really, really frictionless experience for every driver, every commuter or rider. It has to be seamless. So Arrive brings a platform that does exactly that by connecting the city authorities, then all the private operators of transport versus parking, garages versus on-street parking. So when you connect them together and have the data really be leveraged and provide insights through AI, you can make this seamless and frictionless. So that's what Arrive does, and it's a fascinating problem that we get to solve every day.
It's absolutely fascinating, and I hope in India someday we can see Arrive, because it seems like that's one of our biggest problems.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, Jerome, the next question is for you. For our listeners, where have they most likely experienced urban mobility solutions at scale already, or they've seen it?
Yeah. So because our context here is we are in Bengaluru, and thank you for hosting us. I will probably bring something that is outside of India, but that everybody around the world has seen. So let's think about 2024, plunge yourself in the Olympics in Paris. Think of the chaos. For the first time in history, Olympics was going to be hosted within the heart of a city, an old city, and its immediate surrounding. How do you make this chaos simple while maintaining strict security vigilance, easing the flow, whether people will navigate by public transport or will navigate through whatever means they have, their cars, their bikes, whatever. How do you orchestrate all of this at a point of the utmost stress in a city when you have millions and millions of visitors who just want to go from point A to point B in record time? How do you make this happen? Well, that's where the technology, that's where this innovation that this company brings in can help ease that flow so that that user who wants to watch that game in the heart of the city or then go to the outskirt of the city to see an equestrian jump can navigate flawlessly, everything in the palm of their hand, easy type, easy go.
Just on the planning stages, this is like several months and a couple of years ago, we worked very closely with the city authority in Paris because the threat level also was high when it comes to cybersecurity, as an example, but also traffic optimization and planning from the urban mobility standpoint. We provided them a lot of insights and data, right, that helped from urban mobility use cases all the way to how to manage the threat levels, right? So it's a fascinating, kind of collaboration with the events like that cities face, right? That's what makes our life so fascinating working in Arrive.
It is, and I think what is important about what we do, it is not about being egocentric. You don't want to come and carry the brand and say, this is us, this is us. No, what you want to do is to bring that value through the entire ecosystem, whether it starts from that individual user, whether it's like this 15-year-old, where the parents want to make sure that, they can trace what the activity is, or this grandmother or whoever it is in between from a user standpoint, but also for the cities, the municipalities, as well as the operators. How do you bring that value in an egoless way? And all matters is just that value for impact. So that's, I think, our focus.
That's amazing. Paris Olympics was one of the most beautiful and uniquely orchestrated, spread across the city, and to learn that Arai was behind the scenes making it happen it's absolutely amazing. So I think, and it's the complexity, like we as users don't realize it, but it's cybersecurity, it's ease, it's commute, it's time.
It's payments.
It's payments, exactly. That's really amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Jerome. You mentioned your both of you, before this, when we started the podcast. Before that, you mentioned that you have really high hopes of coming into India, and you're building an innovation hub out of India. Why does this feel like the right moment? What has changed in this space that makes this the right time to invest in the talent in India?
India has become innovation hub for the world. The fact that the talent pool is massive with specialized skill sets, whether it is traditional big data or payments orchestration, all the way to AI. Let's take payments orchestration itself, like UPI in India, doing 23 billion transactions per month, right, with the 500 million active users. That kind of scale is unheard of anywhere in the world. So learning from those how to scale is a massive opportunity, number one. Number two, the focus on digitization in this country for such a long time, combined with the urban challenges, right, urbanization challenge rather, it's a perfect place for us, not only to establish the innovation center with the help of the local talent, but also rapidly learn, right? What are the future challenges? City like Navi Mumbai, which is a mega project going on, or mega airports being built here. These are the places where Arrive has niche and helps the urban mobility challenges. So it's a massive opportunity. I'm super excited to be here, right, with our colleagues building the center.
And what I love about Sandesh is how humble he is, because if you look at his career trajectory, you can see that somebody from Bangalore, who's no foreigner to Bengaluru or Bangalore, has really brought that innovation, that intelligence through, whether it was his 20 plus years at IBM or now also at Arrive. But then if you look at the cradle of the talent that resides here, think about Microsoft, think about Alphabet, Google, right? Think about IBM. Look who's leading those companies. CEOs who are no foreigners to India, they're coming from here. So one of the things I'm really excited about is I really hope that we are going to attract the next generation of the bright talent of the future so that they help us shape the future that we deserve on this earth. That's why we're here as well.
Absolutely. I think India has created some great examples, and in a complex environment, created examples like UPI. The talent is fabulous. We have seen this time and again, in the global capability centers and innovation hubs being built out of India. So I do believe it's a great move for Arrive. For both of you, for someone listening to this who's thinking about their next move, why is now the right time to be in the urban mobility space and the tech? Why should talent think about being in this space?
You go first.
I guess I will let you talk about the market dynamics and the opportunity is created. But for me, going back to the purpose Arrive has to make cities more livable, think about what's happening in India, right? Think about some of the statistics that UN talks about around the world, which is urbanization space. So by 2050, 2 humans out of 3 are going to live in the city. Think about it. Now, you take that to India, 40,000 humans are moving into one of the cities every day. Think about it. Every day, 40,000 Indians are moving into city permanently. Now, we all know that looking at India's development, households have more than 1 cars. think about the inflow of the population with so many cars. Now think about the complexities of mobility in the given. So this is where, like, Arrive can really, really help with the data as a major differentiator with AI, whether it is predictive models, generative models nowadays, very, very commonly used. We can help arm the city planners, administrators, private operators of transport, parking, really to ease these complexities, right? So that's the massive opportunity. So if there is a startup or any other company which is trying to solve problems within urban mobility, this is the place. Also, other countries, whether it's in Africa or the rest of the world, also facing similar urban mobility challenges. So learn fast from local here, and then bring those insights and best practices elsewhere. That's where we come in, because we are in 90 countries, working with more than 20,000 cities, we get to capture those best practices and apply elsewhere. So that's what we do, whether it's parking, charging, transportation, arming the cities with the intelligence for, traffic optimization, you name them, right? This is what is an exciting times for us as well as all of our, partners and colleagues.
From my standpoint, and to build on what Sandesh is sharing, I think that we are at an inflection point in humanity where we've passed 8 billion inhabitants on the world, right? And people want to be fulfilled. They want to make their life matter. They want to add an impact that will make this world a better place. There are 4 industries today that really make a huge difference. Technology is playing a huge difference. Health is essential. I want to say, beyond those 2, you can then also add mobility. And today, when you look at technology, you look at health, you look at mobility, Arrive plays in those elements as well, because we are based on technology. We bring this innovation. But if you make cities more livable, if you remove the stress for the different users, you help also on their health as well. And mobility, if you look at this market, the market we play here at Arrive is about a $3 trillion market. Think about it in the context of India. It's about almost as big as the India market itself. We are the leading agent in that very space. So if people are looking to make a contribution that is fulfilling for their lives and for the world, this is a place to start. This is a place to be a part of the design, the architecture, and the build of the future. So to me, it is the right time to be in India, and it is the right time to attract the right talent who are curious, who want to be focused, and who want to really be and arrive together to win, to make that place a better place to be, to make cities more livable. So I think that's why.
That's amazing. So what I'm hearing is you bring the intelligence of making a huge change in the 20,000 cities across the world, and you have here amazing talent in India. And when you combine that, the kind of future urban mobility solutions that you can build for a $3 trillion industry is the sky's the limit. Yes, that's really inspiring. I'm so inspired by just listening to that, and the purpose it's...
Do you want to join us?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. They might want to edit that.
Okay.
Sorry, Pari.
I think this is really definitely inspiring, and it is a problem that every Indian relates with day in and day out to the commute to from their home to office or back. So thanks for sharing that with us. You mentioned that Sandesh, Arrive, and Jérôme, that Arrive is operating in 90 countries. It's literally most of the world, and 20,000 cities. But these cities, as you touched upon earlier, have different regulations, different languages, different behaviors. When you're building a team which is now catering to this global market, solving complex problems, what kind of mindset do you look for when you're hiring?
So first, we want colleagues to join us who are really passionate about making a difference in this world, especially urbanization problem, which is a massive, massive problem for any country in the world right now. So that is a starting point, right? Number two, the fundamentals of how we are going to solve these problems, which is innovation mindset, value creation mindset is obvious, but then the skill sets that you need to bring to the table, whether it is data first, AI everywhere nowadays is very, very important. Secure by design, because cyber threat is one of the topmost threat for any business or any organization nowadays. Or in our case, we need to scale globally, but also need to make sure that those transactions are frictionless, always on. So in other words, architecture that not only scales, but also keeps the service always on. These are the fundamentals, but not to mention, we talked about, ensure global scale, but at the same time, adapt to local needs, whether it's Bangalore here, right, in the future, or Mumbai, can be two different, challenges. Essentially, all the skills in this new world, fascinating world of advanced technology going on, AI or otherwise, need to be there. But finally, something Jérôme mentioned, my colleague, we believe in really be curious, learn every day, listen more, right? Number two, focus, focus, focus. So any problem is an important problem that we solve. So focus becomes extremely important. And then number three, we always care about is solve challenge together. Teaming, collaboration becomes fundamental of how you do it. So be curious, be focused, and always win together, right? So those things come to my mind as ingredients that you need for Arrive to continue to be successful.
And what I love about what you're saying, if you land on Arrive together, think about the fact that today we are distributed around the world. Not only we're distributed around the world, so our CEO Cameron sits in Atlanta. Atlanta is in the US, for those who might not know. And if you look at our CFO, Bill, he sits in London. Then you look at our Chief People Officer, Kylie, she sits in Stockholm. Here we are, Sandesh and I, right now we're in Bengaluru, but we are in Boston. And we have team around the different countries where we are implemented. At the leadership level, we are distributed and we can work because we trust each other regardless of where we are coming from. So the diversity that we bring is that uniqueness, that strength that we can build upon as a massive mosaic of different colors of tiles. Like Sandesh is from Bangalore. I'm definitely French from origin, but I lived and grew up all around the world. Cameron is from New Zealand. Bill is from London, whatever. You have this patchwork that makes this company so brilliantly rich of diversity, and the talent just is limitless. And so that's why now coming into India will just expand that richness.
Absolutely. I think you are catering to diverse, complex urban mobility
Yes.
from around the world. You need a diverse talent mindset
Indeed.
as well, which is very curious, focused, and knows how to collaborate.
Well said.
Absolutely makes sense. So let's talk about the future a little bit. If you get India right, what does it unlock for the company Arrive over the next 3 to 5 years? Jérôme, that's a question for you.
One that I need to think about. So India, I think when I look at India, first of all, it's a market, it's probably the fastest and largest growing market in the mobility space. If you look at just Bengaluru and how the navigation system had its own uniqueness. Somebody was telling me a little earlier that when she was here, she used to be biking, but now it's no longer a reality because it's so congested. If we could solve that situation by bringing our technology, by cooperating with the government and the different operators, that would be fabulous. But today, I think, as I'm thinking of India, it's more about how do we leverage this talent? And if you look at some of our partners, Google, Uber, whatever, if you look at those today, they are coming into India as the Silicon, the Silicon Valley of the East. We believe in it as well. And therefore, we want to be a part of it. We want to make sure we tap on this ecosystem because we believe not only India stretched in the length of time from thousands of years, but today is extremely relevant and at the cutting edge of innovation. We want to be part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are the Silicon Valley of the East, and thanks for stating that. Sandesh, if you look ahead few years, what becomes a real turning point for mobility? What shifts everything from where we are today?
I would say, especially in urban mobility space, you will see more predictive and autonomous. What do I mean by that? Today, if you are riding or transport, that is, or driving and parking, a lot of times you have to deal with apps, the phone often, whether it is to find a parking spot or buy a ticket, whatever it is. What you will see more and more in the future is frictionless, seamless experience. Example could be you are driving into a city, you may be parking at the perimeter of the city, then you switch to either a rental bike, if you are sustainable, or you will be riding a nearest metro, or simply robotaxi, right, which is going to be very common very soon. You don't have to touch your phone, will be the reality. So Arrive already has technology that really transfers the session between these different modes of transport, right? You will see that happening automatically, right? So that is one thing comes to my mind as an obvious thing. Auto start, auto stop of payments in the background, you don't need to worry. Or if you prefer subscriptions, you will get a bill already, payments applied in the background. These are the ways we want to remove friction and we need to make things really, really seamless. It's a fascinating world what we are talking about in the future, right? Autonomous vehicles are a reality today in a lot of cities, and we work with them and already helping them with the life cycle of entire fleet, right? Because remember, just because it doesn't have driver, it is free to do anything. It need to park somewhere when it is to be sustainable. It need to get a car wash. It need to pay tolls. It need to do a lot of things. That's where we come in, right? So we have code in the majority of the cars already today in car for payment, for navigating to the right parking spot or paying tolls, etc. So working with OEMs or car manufacturers, working with cities, working with private operators and partners, all coming together to make this a really seamless world in the future is what we do.
Wow, that sounds like science fiction to me.
I know it's reality today.
And also maybe less accidents because people don't look at their cell phones while driving to do things. So
Great
I think
point.
also safer.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you said, so many parties coming together and bringing them on a platform like Arrive, making it seamless, frictionless, safer, cybersecurity proof. I think that sounds really, really interesting. I have a few rapid fire questions for you.
Uh-oh.
And would appreciate short one word, two word answers.
Ooh la la, ooh la la, challenge.
So for both of you, one city that gets urban mobility right.
Edinburgh in Scotland.
Or maybe Perth in Australia too. They do right from transport to parking, charging, all seamless already, and great customer of ours.
Yeah, Edinburgh,
Same.
tap and go. Psh.
This
You
is like
navigate
a,
from bike to transport.
yeah.
That's amazing. So Edinburgh and Perth are great urban mobility examples.
And
Something
what
to
a
learn
stretch
from.
geographically, from Scotland all the way to Australia.
Like we were talking earlier, right? No-tap journeys.
Yes,
That's becoming reality in these cities. It's
Yes,
like
we gotta learn from them.
They are very visionary.
that's amazing. AI and mobility, overhyped or underhyped?
Great question. Maybe short-term overhyped, long-term likely underhyped.
Sounds good. What do you think, Jerome?
I think from a different angle, I think it is at the right time. And I am using AI to help solve customer problems and deflect some of their challenge. So we embed also AI in how we run our company on customer care, for instance. So AI in mobility through how the users and the cities and operators experience it, and internally through how we serve our customers.
Okay, that's very interesting. One thing you wish city governments understood.
Data, data, data.
I agree. I agree. The data and insights to be used for both short-term decisions, long-term, investment kind of decisions for infrastructure. I think cities can do way more, right? It's 21st century. Data rules, insights through AI is already a big time reality. Yeah.
And probably they have an advantage. They can and have access to a lot of data
You got it.
to be able to
Today.
play on it, play with it. Right?
Ton of data that we sit on top of.
Makes sense. What's your favorite part of working at Arrive, Sandesh?
Making an impact to the world, really, that matters by helping cities become more livable, doing it together.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jerome?
First, this man. I mean, I could not partner with somebody more
Likewise.
outstanding than this guy. But I think to bring a little bit of gravity here, when you've been in a situation where you had 4 near-death experiences, time matters, and therefore you're not going to apply your time on earth for something you don't believe in. I believe in the purpose of this company to make cities more livable. It is something that to me is essential. I'm not going to waste my time. And therefore to be part of that remit and to be able to be part of a team that will design, architect, build, and deliver that big promise is why I'm here.
Such a very purpose-driven.
Yeah.
Jerome and Sandesh, you're building something that most people interact with every day without knowing it's you or without knowing how complex it is behind the scenes. That's either the best kept secret in mobility or the next chapter of the story that just started. And we'd like to think it's the latter. So what really stayed with me is the complex environment and a really real problem that Arrive is solving, bringing data, different parties, whether it's municipal, government, parking lots, operators, toll systems, bringing them together across 90 countries across the world at scale and making it still feel so seamless like you did at the Paris Olympics. That is a massive problem, making people's lives easier and cities more livable. And it is truly, truly inspiring. And at the center of all of it is talent. Talent in countries like India, which are now the Silicon Valley of the East, taking in the knowledge which Arrive has over time built and using their amazing skill sets to create the future of the cities. I think that's extremely, extremely powerful. And, we're truly, truly thankful for Arrive to think of India and trusting the talent in India and its potential, and coming to India soon, and potentially also disrupting the market, urban mobility market of India in future. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing all these learnings with us. We really, really can't wait to see what you bring to India in future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Zinnov Podcast. Stay tuned for more such interesting episodes. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, or any of your favorite streaming platforms.